I'm just here to go through a couple of things that might cause some confusion or that you might be wondering about beginning our journey into e-learning. So I have my screen up here of the homeroom class. It might look a little bit different than yours will or your child's will, but should be relatively similar so that you can kind of see what I'm explaining as I'm explaining it. So on the first day, you will see a few new posts, and you will see them under latest posts here. So there'll be two other ones that are being uploaded later, but I posted this one just so that I could go through this explanation. So as you see here, we have 4 notebooks for this week that you'll be working on all week. So I'm not going to be posting any new work each day. It's going to be working through these same notebooks for the whole week. Each of these notebooks is a Google slide, and you'll see that within each Google slide, it has dates on each of the slides so that you know what you're responsible for each day. And I'll show you an example right now. So for example, if we go to the writer's notebook, the first prompt you get is that you need to copy the document. This is just so that if I were to just give you a link to the document, if you begin editing it, then everyone is going to see what you're doing, and other people would have to erase your work in order to put in theirs. So this way we all have our own copy of it, only you see your work, and it's saved on your Google Drive. So your first thing that you need to do is to make a copy, and that way it saves it to your Google Drive. Now right away, it saves the title as copy of, and then whatever I have called it. So if you want to put Miss Kemp's writer's notebook, or whatever your child's name is, writer's notebook, you can go ahead and do that. You just have to click in this bar and you're able to edit the title. Another thing I wanted to bring up while we're in the notebook itself is that when you are going back in each day, you don't need to click on the link, because each time you click on the link, it's going to ask you to make a new copy. So you're not going to see your work from the previous day. So each day you're going to log into Google Slides itself, and then you're going to make sure, double check that you are logged into the correct Google Drive account. And you can see that by, you'll have a letter up here. So if it's the first letter of your child's name, then you know you're signed into the right account, and you can even hover over it and it'll tell you what email address it's associated with. If you're not logged into the right one, it obviously isn't going to show you the correct documents. So if you're logged into the correct Google Slides, then you'll see all of your notebooks there. You can click on the notebook that you're wanting to work on at that time, and you can get to work. But the first time that you're logging in, you will see instructions sometimes on the first page, sometimes within each of the slides. So you just gotta kind of follow along. Hopefully I made it self-explanatory. So in this case, for the writer's notebook, you have each day what you're responsible for on this first page. So Monday, brainstorming for writing prompt 1, Tuesday, brainstorming for writing prompt 2, Wednesday, first draft for writing prompt 1, Thursday, first draft for writing prompt number 2, and then Friday, editing and revising for both writing pieces and submitting them. And I will get to submitting later on. It's just important that you know how to get to this and what to do once you're here. So again, that's how you work out those notebooks. So again, make sure that if you are going into Google Slides that you're signed into the right account, because obviously you won't see these documents if you're not signed into the right account. Going back to our page here, our home page, another feature I wanted to show you guys is another way that you can contact me and your child can contact me is through these little buttons up here. This first one here is email, I believe. Let me just double check that. Sorry, it's really slow when it's recording. So I think I have 2 options here. So I can do instant messages, which you can do for me as well. I'll just let that load. And this is as far as I know. I'll let you know if this changes. They're making some announcements today as to what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. So if this changes and I'm not allowed to use this feature, I'll let you know. But as of right now, I think we're allowed to use this feature, so I'll just go with that. So you can search under friends and class lists. I believe you guys have those options as well. And you're able to create a message based off of those. So if I wanted to message anyone within the class, I can go ahead with that. I just have to press message, and then I can type in their name and I can send a message directly to them. Now, this should be exclusively for schoolwork only. It shouldn't be used for talking about who's going to go and play Roblox later. It should just be used for schoolwork purposes. If you're not understanding something, maybe you know someone else has already done it, so you're going to ask them before you ask me. That's totally fine. Or you can send an instant message to me, or there's the option of email here as well. And I will come up in that list as well when you go to the email option, and this will be through your child's email, not your email. So this will be their LDCSB email that you use to sign in to D2L, and that will allow you to email me through their account. So you're welcome to use those as well, so that I'm not flooding your inbox and you're not flooding my inbox with emails back and forth over the schoolwork. Now, with that in mind, I also wanted to give kind of the warning that I will be practicing somewhat office hours, in that I will be trying to respect that I'm going to try and log off at 4 p.m. That way I'm respecting kind of a normal school day, what I would normally work, and I'm hoping your child is normally done their schoolwork by that point. If for some reason they're doing their schoolwork later on in the day, or you have a question that comes up later in the day, it will just be that I will get to it the next day, which is not a big deal. It will just be answered the next time I'm online for school purposes. Okay? The next thing I wanted to show really quickly was within one of the, or two of the, math assignments, you'll be working in gizmos. So that's just under this toolkit bar. You have gizmos here. So you're just going to be clicking on that. And I'm not too sure what it will look like on your part. I'm hoping it automatically logs you into our class. But if it does not, I have provided you the class code. So you might need to sign up. I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully you guys can kind of figure that out and let me know. But I have given you this class code so that you can log into my class, and it should just show you and kind of narrow it down these gizmos that I have chosen that I thought might be appropriate for us at this point and maybe later on. You'll be focusing on two this week, so this one here and this one here. Okay, and I've included screenshots of it in the assignment itself, so it should be pretty self-explanatory. The next thing I wanted to explain, and not really on this homepage, but just explain in general, is that within the science notebooks, I've included a bunch of science explorations. They do require you to have some materials at home. I encourage you to kind of make do with what you have at home. I don't want you to be going out and buying things specifically for the purposes of these experiments. Please don't make extra trips to the grocery store or to wherever to do these experiments. Get creative, do what you can. If there's something that, for whatever reason, you cannot do because of lack of things at home, that's totally fine. Again, you can shoot me a message. You can let me know maybe what you're working with. I can maybe help you out, give you some suggestions, things like that. And we can try and figure out what we can do instead. Okay? Now, when it comes to submitting work, you will only be submitting work at the end of the week. So I don't need to have access to those Google Slides until the end of the week. So this week it will be Thursday. And I will, I'll post a video later on this week explaining how to post those Google Slides later on, because that will need a bit of a longer explanation. So I'll go into that later on. And another thing that I wanted to go through, sorry, I'm just looking at a list of things that I wanted to make sure I covered. Last thing that I want to go over is that just a reminder, I tell my kids this all the time, you can do things out of order. So if you are stuck on something and I'm not getting back to you for whatever reason, don't get frustrated, don't give up, don't pack it in for the day. Move on. So if you're on math and you're stuck for whatever reason, go and do your science, go and do your writing, go and do your reading, go and do something else, and you can always come back to whatever you are stuck on later when either I get back to you, maybe mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, whoever is helping you is busy. Maybe once they are not busy, then they can help you, but you can still continue working on something else and then go back to it later on. So there's not necessarily an order that you have to do these in. You can totally kind of skip around if you need to. Just keep an eye on those dates that are on the slides so that you know what you're responsible for each day. I hope that all makes sense. Again, if you have any questions, you do have those messaging tools up there so you can let me know. And I wish you all the best of luck. I can't wait to see the work you accomplish through this platform, and have an awesome week. Goodbye.